My loves, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here. As always, I am deeply grateful to all of you for your love, support, likes, shares, and comments. I do love you guys. If you're new here, my name is Kelte. This will be another general transmission on the collective energies, so take what resonates and leave the rest. Witness with discernment. If you want to book a personal reading with me or any of my other healing services, including soul retrieval through the forms of sound journeys and soul portal portraits and more, then you can contact me at keltecreatrix.com. Without further ado, calling on my ancestors, the archangels, and the Most High, Holy Spirit, Universe, Creator, Consciousness, please allow me to channel what the viewer needs to hear for their highest good and healing, and so it is. All right, let's light this candle. So right off the bat, I keep seeing Leonardo DiCaprio in that movie called The Man in the Iron Mask, where the king hides away his twin brother deep within the castle, or somewhere within the castle, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't seen that movie in forever. And then he forces him to wear this iron mask so that nobody knows that that's his brother, or that nobody knows that he's there. And the brother who is forced to wear the iron mask is like really kind, compassionate, sweet, and pure-hearted, and the evil twin brother is tyrannical, unkind, and ruthless. So there could be something about that. It's almost like there's something about the mask that you felt that you had to wear to survive, and unmasking. It's almost like something about Inception. It's like the layers upon layers of the different masks that you had to wear, or the layers upon layers of trauma that you felt like obscured who you really were from yourself and from other people, and the grief that comes with that, knowing that so many people didn't even necessarily know the real you, and a part of you, although you were always sort of connected in a way to that part of yourself, it was the feeling that you couldn't show your true self to other people, like that you couldn't, or that you wouldn't, like that because you couldn't, like that you wouldn't because you couldn't. Because whenever you tried to show who it was that you really were, you felt like you were misunderstood, or there was somebody there, like this ruthless person in your life who did these things to you to make you feel like you had to put that mask back on. Somebody who would project their own shame onto you because of that true self that they saw within you. Whenever you tried to show your true self, whenever you tried to truly be loved, to truly be seen, you felt like what it was that that person saw, they felt ashamed of, but it was because of what they saw reflected back to themselves, something that they either felt uncomfortable feeling within themselves, or that they didn't want to see within themselves. There's something about like you expressing your emotions. There's something about there's something about like you being honest with how you feel. It's like someone always telling you, like making you feel like you had to put that mask back on because that person didn't want to explore how it was that what you were saying or what you were expressing made them feel within themselves. There's something about that. There's something about like black goo. Like I feel like there's like something about like black goo seeping through the walls or something like that. There's something where it's like this part that you felt like severed off from a part of yourself or something like that. You felt like severed off, maybe because there are always people who were trying to compete with you or compete for attention, like in your family system. Like there was always somebody who wanted more attention or something like that, or somebody thought that you got more attention, or that somebody was paying you more attention, but was it attention or was it control masked as love? Like there's something about that. So then it's like you learn to like control yourself instead of love yourself. You learn to control, like somebody learned to control themselves instead of love themselves. To control, to be overbearing with yourself, to be ruthless against yourself, because there was somebody who modeled that to you, who was ruthless towards you. So it's like, there's something about that. As a lot of you guys know, I go through phases of being obsessed with spelunking videos, watching people go explore these deep cave systems. I think it's fascinating and kind of scary and freaky and courageous. So I was watching, the other day I was watching this video and it stood out to me. These people were going in to explore this cave, but before they even entered the cave, they saw these storm clouds rolling in, and then they checked the weather and they were like, it's gonna be a thunderstorm, like it's gonna rain, there's gonna be a lot of rain, they're calling for a lot of rain, and they just decided to go inside of this cave anyway. Which, for, if you guys know about this kind of stuff, it's like it's not safe to go into caves when it's going to rain, because that means that the cave could fill up with water when you're still in it, which is very unsafe. But they decided to go in anyways. And then they got to this one point in the cave, like I guess it's like this really big hole, like it's like the descent, like where like you kind of like have to go on a rope and then you descend deeper into the cave. And when they got to this spot, it's like the point of no return kind of thing. There was like this bat that flew across the screen and then flew across this chasm into the earth or whatever. And they were all like, wow, that's a bat, that's so cool. But I felt like it was almost like a sign from spirit being like, I don't think this is, you shouldn't continue into this cave right now because it's not safe right now. It's not safe to keep on going. Think ahead, like think before you go deeper into this cave. But they went anyways, and yeah, they kept on going deeper and deeper into this cave, and the more they ventured forward, the worse that the water became. And to the point where there was this one point where they were, you know, moving down the rope, and it was like a waterfall was flowing over them, like it's just not safe at all. And then so eventually they were like, okay, maybe we should turn back. So eventually they turned back, but it was very treacherous and things could have gone horribly wrong if they would have kept going. But there was something about that video that just stood out to me. Like I felt like they kind of ignored the warning signs. Like they knew that there was a storm rolling in. They saw the bat. The bat was trying to get them to use their intuition, right? But they kept on pushing anyway. And it's almost like, so caves represent the unconscious, and then the water filling up this cave is almost, I don't know, like an ancestral emotion, or maybe a repressed emotion or something like that. There could be something of like a repressed emotion, or like coupled with, or it is like an ancestral pattern or an ancestral emotion coming up to be felt, to almost clear the space, to clear the cave. Something about renewal. But there's also something coming through about that message from the bat. There's something coming through of like, there is something that you intuitively feel that you need to pull back from. This could be someone or something. It's almost like you're getting these intuitive nudges that maybe you shouldn't move forward with something, or maybe you shouldn't move forward with someone. Or maybe it's that maybe you should just not move forward right now. Maybe it's not the right time to continue onward at this time. It doesn't mean that you're never going to be able to move forward with something, but maybe it's just that maybe now's not the time to keep pushing. There's something about like an intuition. Maybe now is not the time to keep pushing. Maybe or maybe there's something that's like exacerbating like how it is that you're feeling, or this emotion that's bubbling up to the surface. This emotion is bubbling up to the surface. There's also something coming through. Okay, so then, and in a different video, I saw somebody go into the cave. This is in a different video. It was somebody who was like going into a cave, and then they come face to face with a mountain lion. And the mountain lion doesn't hurt the person, but the mountain lion is like hisses at the person. It's like, get out of the cave. This is my cave right now. So, I mean, and that person was so lucky as well. I mean, that's a crazy encounter. But what I'm feeling from that, it's almost like this thing of your own sovereignty, like your own inner authority, being made to fear your own inner authority, being made to fear your own power, right? Mountain lions represent like leadership, like I said, inner authority, sovereignty, that power within yourself that you were made to fear. You've been exploring your unconscious, and there's something coming through, or I'm hearing like bleeding through, or like I'm saying like that black goo. There's something, yeah, there's something about like black goo seeping through the walls. Seeping through the walls. There's something about control, okay? Like how you control a part of yourself that doesn't want to be controlled in the same way, or how another person you feel, because you control, it's like you feel there's something about being triggered by somebody else who wants to come in and try to control your energy or usurp your inner authority through how they talk to you, the things that they choose to say to you in the way that they choose to say them. There's something of like, then you feel guilty for kind of standing up for yourself. It's like somebody wanting to come into your cave, into your space. It's almost like somebody always encroached upon your space in your own mind. Like somebody always crossed your boundaries. Okay, and then I had this dream that I was 11 from Stranger Things, and I was running away from the father figure dude, like her papa or whatever, like the government guy. Except he was like a giant, and I was extremely small. Like I was like a miniature version of 11, I guess, from Stranger Things. And then I locked myself in a padded room to try to get away from him. And then he ripped the door down like it was cardboard or something like that. So it's like somebody who crossed your boundaries, who made you feel unsafe in your own skin, who tried to make you feel like you had to hide a part of yourself away in an iron mask to make them happy so that they wouldn't lash out at you because of what they felt within themselves whenever they encountered your true self. They made you feel ashamed of your true self. They made you scared to be your true self. Okay, and there's even something of like the demonizing of your anger or your boundaries, like, or of you even just saying no. It's not even about angry. It's just you being like that mountain lion in your cave, just hissing at somebody, being like, dude, this is my space, right? The mountain lion didn't lunge at the guy. She didn't swipe at the guy. She just hissed. She was like, this is my cave. Leave now, or else obviously we're gonna have a problem. But then it's like you guilt yourself even for just saying no, or even for just not being nice, right? You're kind, but it's like you're done with being nice, like making like there's something like putting aside your own power because another person wants to feel powerful. There's somebody who wants to come into your energy and they're talking down to you. What is this? Like, I don't know. There's somebody who like has come into your energy and you feel intuitively, you feel that something is off with the way that they chose to speak to you. Like it's like somebody giving you a backhanded compliment or saying that they're being supportive or acting like they're being supportive, but the underlying energy or the undercurrent underneath how they're masking themselves to be. Like somebody is coming in and wearing a mask, but the undercurrent of like what they're actually trying to communicate with you, you can feel it intuitively, but then it's like you were kind of conditioned to kind of ignore that intuition, to like stuff that intuition down, to mask your own normal and natural response to someone's disrespect, of just being like, no thank you, no, I don't like that, no, you're reading the situation wrong, that's not how I'm taking it, that's not how I see myself, but I see what you're trying to do when you're talking to me that way, when you're saying what you're saying. Like you can read the underlying message of what someone, I feel like someone might not even be conscious of what it is that they're doing, but it's because you're actually triggering that person. You're triggering that person because that person has their own man in an iron mask locked away within themselves, because somebody made them feel ashamed of being their true self or a part of themselves that they keep locked away. But to see you unmasking yourself, right? To see you unmasking yourself, to see you expressing yourself, to see you shamelessly being who it is that you are. It's like, so somebody wants to come into your energy, somebody wants to come into your cave, somebody wants to come into your castle and try to make you feel ashamed of who it is that you are, because they feel ashamed of a part of themselves that they see reflected back to them in you, because you're not wearing a mask, because you're taking off the mask. So it's like somebody wants to come into your energy and say something to position themselves as above you, as the authority above you, to usurp your own authority, right? To try to tame that mountain lion within you. And then there's that bat spirit that's like, somebody, it's like somebody's intuition could have even told them not to come and do whatever it was that they were going to do to you. It's like somebody didn't follow their own intuition because they're not listening to their intuition. Somebody ignored their intuition and decided to do whatever they wanted to do anyways. Because they weren't going off their intuition, they were going off wanting to say a certain thing, or to be a certain way, or to be seen a certain way, to have you see yourself a certain way. But there's almost like this thing where it's like, yeah, somebody wants you to get back in the box, because somebody sees you outside of the box, it makes them feel uncomfortable, right? So it's like somebody wants to come and say, like, what did they, I don't know. What did this person say to the collective, Spirit? Or tell me about this person. Tell me about this person. Or what's going on. They definitely had like a different option. They could have done something a different way. They could have said something a different way. They could have even abstained from doing what it is that they did. They had a couple options. Yeah. Somebody didn't care about how something was going to make you feel, or somebody knew how something was going to make you feel, and that's why they said it, that's why they did it. But whatever it was that somebody did or said, they knew that it was going to make you feel a certain way, but they didn't care that it was going to make you feel that way, because they wanted to feel like that they had some sort of power to make you feel that way. And then you could have gotten triggered because you're just like, because it triggers that something that it's like how you've repressed your own inner authority, because you were made to feel afraid of your own inner mountain lion because of the way that you were mocked, shamed, abused. When you tried to stand up for yourself, you were made to feel like that was like the worst thing in the world, because it was all about controlling you. So it's like to see you stepping outside of that box, for somebody to see you in your sovereign power, your own inner authority, not feeling above another person, not feeling below, but knowing who it is that you are, knowing that you are the one soul moving through the heart of all things, knowing that, and like actually just knowing that and feeling that and having experienced that through whatever it is that you have done, or wherever it has been that you have gone to those places within yourself. It's like you no longer, there's something of like, to the fact you've explored your cave. It's like you have learned that you don't need to feel ashamed about certain things, but it doesn't mean that you won't get triggered sometimes when somebody comes in and treats you in the same way that other people used to treat you. And when I say that, I mean, for this, what I'm picking up on is that people will come into your life, or this person has come into your life, okay? And it's almost like this thing where people have talked down to you your whole life, but pretending like that's not what they were doing. People pretending like they were on your side, pretending like that they were supporting you, pretending like that they were giving you good advice, pretending like it was just constructive criticism, pretending like that they were your friend, pretending like that they were your family, when really the message underneath what they said was the message was actually to cut you down, was actually to get you back down in that box, was to actually make you feel disempowered, was to actually make you feel less than them, because they wanted to usurp your own inner authority so that they could be the authority over you, so that they could feel in control because of where they feel out of control within themselves, because of something that they don't want to feel, that they don't want to see. So somebody, I don't know, you could have experienced this person when you were growing up, people who were like ruthless with the things that they said, but then they pretended like they didn't say them. They pretended that they didn't mean what they meant. They would say things that, it's like they would say things in a certain way that seemed good on the surface, but you felt intuitively that it was off. Like, that's what I'm saying. Somebody has come into your life and they've said something that kind of seems okay on the surface, but intuitively you know that it's off. You feel that it's off. There's something off with what they said, and there is something off with what they said, because what they said was actually to manipulate you to feel a certain way about yourself. There's actually something of like somebody saying something because they actually want you to feel like you need their validation, to feel okay about yourself, or okay about who you are, like as if you like some sort of like, I don't know, reverse psychology to make you feel like that you needed their approval all along when you didn't. And that's the point why somebody came in to say a certain thing in a certain way, was because they know that you don't need their validation. That's the power that you have. You give yourself the validation, but there's a part of themselves that they're not validating, that part of themselves. They're not allowing themselves to feel what that man in an iron mask within themselves feels. And so it's almost like this thing where you're kind of, there's this thing where it's almost like, I don't know, there's something about like painting the same thing over and over, or drawing the same thing over and over, or like, or this like hearing the same thing, or experiencing the same thing over and over and over again. But now it's like, it's just dawning on you where it's come from. It's dawning on you. Like somebody, this is somebody's insecurity for something that they feel that they don't have, that they see that you have. They feel that they don't have something, but then they want to come and make you feel like what it is that you have isn't all that. Or they want to make you feel like, it's like they're diminishing, they're minimizing what it is that they see that you have. They want you to see it as a diminished version in your own mind of what it actually is. Somebody sees what it is that you have, but they want to diminish it. They're coming in and they're saying something to diminish it, but they're pretending like that's not what they're doing. They're pretending like that's not what they're doing. And there's this thing where it's like, I don't know, it's just like how many people in your life, friends, family members, colleagues, people always thought that they could treat you a certain way because you had that imprint upon you. You had a part of yourself hidden away in an iron mask. You didn't know how to stand up for yourself. You didn't know how to say no. You guilted yourself. There's something about like guilting yourself when you get upset about certain things. Like that I have to be overly nice. I have to be, have to put myself in their shoes. You're always putting yourself in everybody's shoes. That's all that you've ever done. That was a part of the programming. You have to put yourself in their shoes. They didn't mean it that way. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes, they meant it that way. Maybe part of the medicine for that person is not letting them walk all over you. Maybe part of their medicine that they need is you just saying no, or is you just standing up for yourself, or is you just drawing a line in the sand. But how would they ever receive that medicine if you never give your own self that medicine that part of yourself needs for you to stand up for yourself and to say no, or to just make it known that you see what it is that that person is doing, or to walk away. I don't know, you had to walk away from somebody. It's like people always, it's like pretending like that they loved you, pretending like they had the best interest for you, but they didn't, because they thought that they could just take advantage of you. They thought that they could just take advantage of you because you were so loving, because you were like that trapped man in a mask, right? So kind, so pure-hearted, but that was a mask too. The mask that you couldn't stand up for yourself. You had to wear that mask. That was you. It's a part of you. You are kind. You are pure-hearted. You've always had pure intentions. But there's always been things underneath the surface that, like that black goo that's seeping through the walls. You can't split off from this part of yourself. You can't split off from your power. You found that mountain lion, right? You found that mountain lion in your own cave. And it scared you. It intimidated you. And it intimidates you how much power that you have. Because you don't want to use that power for evil, like how you saw other people use that power. You had other people using their power to control you. You don't want to control anyone. You just don't want anyone to come and step into your energy and try to control you and try to mess with your mind, right? But your mind was messed with to make you feel like you being in your power at all, you having a boundary, you standing up for yourself, that was the worst, that was something to be ashamed of, that was something to be ashamed of. Because when you stood up for yourself or spoke your mind or spoke your heart, spoke your soul, it made somebody else feel uncomfortable. It brought up a part of themselves that they had locked away, that they don't want to be with that part of themselves. They don't want to see that part of themselves. So instead of sitting with that part of themselves that was triggered within them, they want to come in and make you feel ashamed, make you feel like you're too much, make you feel like you had something to be guilty for just saying no, for just being upset with how it was that you were treated. So like what you learned was that I have to be compliant. Like for some of you guys, like obviously a lot of you guys were rebellious and you did rebel in your own way, but there is a big part of you, for a lot of you at least, that felt like you had to be overly nice or overly kind just to get by, just to be loved, to like put yourself out for everybody else. That's how you were trained to be, though. That you're just there for everyone to just take from you. Just take what they see that you have, what they feel like that they don't have, but then make you feel underneath them when they're taking from you, while they're extracting from you. There's also like something coming through of like, once I integrate this part of myself, there's no going back. So who even is that version of me? Like there's something of like other people feeling like they don't even know who you are. Like, okay, well, they're not nice anymore. What, just because they can't walk all over you and take advantage of you anymore? Just because you don't want people to freely just extract from you, just because you're not as porous as you used to be, so that makes you like not a nice person, because now they're upset. So now there are people who are upset because you won't let them take advantage of you. while trying to talk down to you as if you can't feel the energy of what they're doing. You can feel the energy of how people choose to speak to you. But there's somebody who like said something to you, it's like they're not even conscious of that's what they did. But then I don't know like what you did, if you just like spoke your truth. I don't think you swiped at the person. I don't think you lunged at the person, right? The mountain lion energy. I think that you just hissed at somebody. I think you just hissed at somebody to make it known. To make it known that you saw them. And what they were trying to do, that they were trying to come into your energy, try to come into your cave without permission. To try to make you feel a certain way about yourself within your own mind, to usurp your authority. And that's what really makes you upset. It's not even about this person, right? That did whatever they did. People will come and do that because they feel something within themselves that they're projecting onto you. It's like somebody like makes it a sport. It's like they don't even, there's something of like they don't even see what it is that they're doing when they're doing it. They're just like reacting to your energy and wanting to come in and try to control it. Like how they control that man in an iron mask within themselves. They want to just come and control your energy to try to make you feel lesser. Try to make you go back in the box. Because your energy, okay, your awakening, or what it is that you're talking about, or what it is that you're doing or saying, or how it is that you're being, it doesn't fit in the mold that I feel like I need to fit into that mold. I've told myself my whole life that I have to fit into that mold, but to see you, it's like the black goo, it's like seeping out, right? Somebody doesn't even know that the black goo is seeping out. You see it. You see like somebody covered in black goo. You see it. You see it. You've had to wade through that black goo within yourself. You were covered in black goo. You're washing it off. There's nothing to be ashamed of, right? Somebody's trying to fling that goo that's on themselves onto you because they see that you're shining. They see that you washed it off. What do you have to be ashamed of? The things that happened, and even the things that you did feel ashamed of that you did when you didn't know what you know now, you've forgiven yourself because you know where they came from. You know why you did what you did, where it came from, and you can forgive yourself, right? Even if other people don't understand, even if people misunderstand, right? You're challenging people's beliefs. You're breaking the mold. You're not here to be a part of a religion or a doctrine, right? You're here to like break the mold. You're literally like, your energy is here to challenge people. And why do they believe what they believe? Is because somebody told them to believe it? Why do they act the way that they act? Is it because like somebody made them feel like they have to act that way, or else they're not spiritual, or else they're not good, or else they're not like nice or kind? Being nice is not the name of the game. Being kind, choosing to be kind, is the name of the game. But if you're gonna think that my kindness is a weakness, and you're gonna try to come and walk all over me and think that you can talk down to me or talk to me a certain way, that's not okay. That's not okay. And it's okay to be like, hey, I don't like that. That's not okay. It's okay to not like that. It's okay to feel, you feel the intuition, but that somebody's trying to pretend like that they're being nice with what they're saying, when the underlying undercurrent of what they're saying and why they're saying, it's not nice. It's conceited. It's demeaning. Somebody is trying to demean you, right? Yeah, somebody is trying to hurt you, right? Because they see that you're vulnerable. So they're trying to take your vulnerability and make it something that it's not, right? Try to make you feel a certain way, try to see yourself in a certain way. So, but they're projecting how they see a part of themselves, right? How they see a part of themselves onto you. How they feel about a part of themselves. They want you to feel how they feel inside, but they don't want to admit that they feel that. They just want to come and control you, like how they control a part of themselves, instead of letting that part of themselves out, letting that part of themselves flow. Right? Unblocking themselves, like taking that goo, seeing where it came from, buried deep within the earth. It's like oil. Something about oil rigs. This decomposed energy, this matter, this whatever this is, it's like it's seeping in. Something is seeping into somebody's life, right? It's seeped into your life. It's like this part of yourself, you can't hold back this part of yourself anymore, right? You can't help but see what it is that you're seeing and feeling what it is that you're feeling about something intuitively, about somebody in your life or something that's going on in your life. You know that there's something odd about something that's going on. Tell me about this. What is this thing that they're sensing? What is this thing that they're seeing? The bat spirit. Magical youth and rejuvenation. Loyalty in reverse. It's like she's opening this box. Opening Pandora's box. See that chain? It looks like she's broken free from a chain. She's opening this box. Like this box that you felt chained to. Maybe somebody sees you retrieving this magical, youthful innocence and energy from within yourself, that it's like somebody still has that energy within themselves locked away in chains underneath that mask. Maybe somebody doesn't like that you have the apple, right? Somebody doesn't like that you have something that they don't have, that they feel that they don't have. Maybe they feel that they can't take that for themselves, or so then they want to take something from you. They see that you have something, so they want to come in and take it. They want to take it energetically, acting like they're not. That's not what they're doing. That's not what they're doing. That's not what they're saying. That's not what they meant. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And you know that it was. But then you feel like you were so conditioned to deny that that's how people treated you, because you always had these people being like, you're my best friend, I love you. But then taking shots at you, taking little digs at you. Let's call a spade a spade. Why are you holding a spade in your hand? You're taking a dig at me. But then when I try to stand up for myself and say, hey, you're taking a dig, then you try to make me feel guilty. You try to make me feel like I'm victimizing you when you were the one taking digs at me all along. But then when I hiss at you to say, don't do that, then now all of a sudden, that other person feels victimized. After they were trying to take digs at you, they were trying to victimize you, but throwing rocks, hiding their hands. I didn't do that. I didn't say that. Yes, you did. No, you're taking it the wrong way. No, I'm picking up on the underlying energy of why you said that. And I'm trusting how I feel. But because I was abused my whole life, I was made to feel like I couldn't trust how I felt. And I had to feel like I had to wear this iron mask of powerlessness, because I felt like that was a given. Like, okay, I guess this is just like what love is. I guess this is just what family is. It's like, I'll just keep the peace. Like, I just have to, you were trained to keep the peace. Iron mask, keep the peace, so that another person wouldn't feel uncomfortable. Each and every single time they went out of their way to make you feel uncomfortable with who it is that you are. Your authentic self. So that's what's happening. But it's like, so the bat spirit is like, I don't know if you should go further with this person. I don't know if you should let this person further into your cave right now. There's emotions bubbling up to the surface. This is an ancestral pattern here. It's this pattern of people coming into your world, into your reality, into your life, your whole life, thinking that they can talk down to you a certain way. And because you were wearing this iron mask of having to be nice, having to, be quiet, or to just keep the peace, making excuses for everybody. No, it's like now you're starting to hiss, but now someone wants to feel like somehow you took it the wrong way, or did you just actually sense that they are not loyal. Somebody wasn't loyal to you. There's something of like, you were so loyal to another person, but this person was not loyal to you. There's something of like a heartbreak, and I feel like that's the black goo that's bubbled to the surface for you. Something, I don't know if you had a conversation with somebody and something just flew out of your mouth, like, or you just started to cry, or you just kind of said something that you knew that you had been holding this in, but until you said it out loud, you were like, what the heck? Like, that's what this is all along. Like, There's something about that, of getting to the heart of something that you've been talked down to your whole life by everybody. And because you had this iron mask that you were taught to wear, you were conditioned, you were trained, you had to wear this to get by. It's like people thought that they could get away with treating you a certain way. And now that this repressed part of yourself, that mountain lion, that sovereignty, right? Now that that is almost like becoming visible to people, or you're learning how to let that part come out sometimes without demonizing yourself for that part of yourself that protects you, that just says, hey, no, I see what this is and I don't like it. No, I see what you're doing. And don't take my kindness for a weakness. I'm not nice, I'm kind. I choose to be kind. I'm not nice anymore. You used to be so nice. It's like somebody's parents, you used to be so nice. When you used to walk all over me, confirmation. Somebody's siblings are like that. You used to be, I just miss the old you. I miss the old me. Wait a second, the old me that you used to talk down to constantly? You used to pick on, you used to mock me, you used to make it a sport to make me the butt of every single joke at every single moment that you could. You used to throw me under the bus, right? You had the hand in creating this mask that I've been forced to wear, that taught other people that they could talk down to me and get away with it. Because I let them get away with it, because I didn't know how to be anything else. It was either like 0 to 100. It's like this volcano thing. It's like you're like a volcano for like hundreds of years, no explosions, right? People are like, let's go travel up to see this volcano. Let's go, I don't know, live on top of this volcano. Let's live like right beside this volcano. Let's encroach upon the volcano's territory. Let's not respect the volcano. It's a volcano. That's what I'm channeling. It's like, this is literally a force of nature. This is a volcano. We need to respect this volcano. But because it's never exploding, everybody thinks that they can just walk all over this volcano until it explodes, and then they blame the volcano for being a volcano. It's literally a force of nature. It's a volcano. Why are we mad at the volcano? Why did you think that you could disrespect it? It's like you were like created into a volcano because you had to like repress all of this protection energy. Like that you were demonized for being anything other than Zen. Like that's like the spiritual bypassing energy. People demonizing you for your emotions. People making you feel weak for your emotions. So what did this person, I want to know what the collective made this person feel. And then what did what did the collective make this person feel who tried to come in and say something disrespectful? Overwhelmed. So they felt overwhelmed by your energy, or it's like whatever was bubbling up, that black goo within this person, right? Because it's like somebody feels severed off from a part of themselves, just like you have felt. You're dealing with how you were made to feel severed off from a real part of you, like that you couldn't love or accept that part of you, that wasn't acceptable, because society doesn't want you to accept yourself. They want to control you through making you feel like you're not accepted, like you're not acceptable, like that righteous rage or anger or that upset or that sadness is not acceptable. Like there's only one way for you to feel. There's only one way for you to look. There's only one way for you to dress. There's only one way for you to do your makeup. There's only one way for you to live a good life. No, you are spirit itself, and you can make those choices of like how you want to live your life. Or for women, like there's only one way for you to be happy, is it for you to have kids? No. It's how you want to live your life. And yes, there's indoctrination on all sides of that, but it literally just comes down to, who are you? Are you going to let yourself explore who it is that you are, apart from everything else and everybody else has ever told you to be? Who are you and what do you want to do? And feeling okay about that. But then it's like, because somebody doesn't feel okay with their choices, somebody wants to come into your life and make you feel weird about your choice of being who you are, you choosing to be you. Somebody feels like, why are they choosing to be that? So then I have to come into their life and like act like the authority above them. Like I am so, it's like somebody's like acting like they're so far above you, or they're so far ahead of you, or it's like they're condescending. Like it's like somebody's condescending. Oh, well, I did that like 10 years ago. Or it's like, okay, well, you've earned your follow. You've earned your like. Why do they have to come and make you feel like that you needed to seek their validation, or you needed their approval of something that you were doing? Because they want you to feel like, they want you to know that, like they want, it's like, because they're not coming into your energy with respect. They're coming into your energy trying to play something out, because there's actually something that makes them feel overwhelmed by your energy. So what did the collective make this person feel? Rage, but they don't want to admit that they feel some sort of sadness. Or this person made you feel upset, made you feel angry, made you feel overwhelmed by all of these emotions, that you feel like you're this guilt, like emotion on top of emotion. Like, I'm not allowed to just be like, to know. I'm not allowed to. I feel guilty, like I'm judging when somebody else is judging. Like somebody came into your energy and they were judging you, acting like they weren't judging you. And then when you feel like you see the judgment and you're upset, then you shame yourself for being rightfully upset that somebody is judging you subtly underneath the surface of what they are pretending that they're saying or pretending that they're doing. But then you guilt yourself and you shame yourself for feeling rightfully upset. Then you spiral out into this shame spiral, feeling like, see, it's me, it's my problem, I'm a bad person, that I'm reacting, that I have. No, somebody provoked you, but acted like that's not what they were doing, because it was about a subtle power grab. Somebody was negging you, somebody was talking down to you. Oh yeah, you're pretty, but you would look a lot prettier if you wore some lipstick. You would be a lot pretty. Yeah, oh yeah, you're like an 8 out of 10, like, but you would be great if you just lost a little weight, like something like that, or something. Or it's a backhanded compliment. Somebody's giving you a backhanded compliment because they feel insecure about something that you are, something that you're doing. And because they feel insecure, right? And they don't like the feelings that are bubbling up to the surface, that black goo, right? Bubbling up underneath that iron mask, but they haven't taken that mask off for a really long time. There's some black goo underneath that mask, right? Obscuring the purity of the face beneath that mask. But they don't want to deal with that. So they're coming into your energy to try to take some of that power that they feel from you, take some of that energy, try to put you down a little bit, get down in that box a little bit. I'm going to pretend to support you. I'm going to pretend to give you something, like some nice like praise or whatever it is that I'm saying or whatever it is that I'm doing. But I'm actually trying to like force you back in that box to subtly make you feel under me. Because there's a part of that person that feels under you because of something within themselves. It's not that you're trying to be above anyone or try to make anyone feel under anything. It's just the fact that you are literally taking off that mask for yourself and standing in your own authority. People don't want you to be in your own authority. Other people want to come in and try to control you. Wait a second. Why do you feel so empowered when I don't feel, a part of myself doesn't feel empowered? So I have to come in and try to make you feel under me. But I'm the power. Look at me. I'm the power. I'm coming into your energy, into your sacred space, into your life, right? And I want to position myself as the authority above you or as more powerful than you by saying something that kind of subtly positions you as under me. And I want you to feel that. But I don't consciously maybe know that. Somebody consciously doesn't really want to know that that's what they're doing, but that's what they're doing. Because of something that they have repressed within themselves. How did this collective make this person feel? Alienation. It's like you make them feel that part of themselves that they've alienated from themselves, it's like they see you in your power. Guilt. Creation. Maybe you made them feel guilty for something. Guilty for feeling something that, again, they pushed away, that they don't want to feel. How did this other person want to make the collective feel? What was their, like, what did they make the collective feel? What did they make the collective feel? Conflict, an inner conflict. Seeing is healing. Use your intuition to light the pathway. Seeing is healing. Use your intuition to light the pathway. It was like this person was a teacher for you too. See where you still feel like you have to feel guilty for this part of yourself, which is actually the part that you were taught to repress so that you wouldn't know how to stand up for yourself. So that you would feel guilty for being in your power because somebody felt guilty for making you feel powerless your whole life. Somebody made you feel guilty for standing up because they felt guilty for whatever it was that they did that made you feel like you needed to stand in your power to stand up for yourself. So they didn't want to feel that guilt, so that they would always project it back onto you and try to force you back into that box so that they wouldn't have to see what they were hiding in their box. Like this is like somebody's mother, backhanded compliments. Then your best friend of 15, 20 years, backhanded compliments. You didn't want to see it though. That was that person the whole time. That was that person. But you didn't always want to freaking own that that's what they did, because that's how painful it was. You hid that part of yourself away. You locked it away in a box being like, I don't really feel this. I'm fine. Everything's fine. I'm just going to smile. I'm just going to get through this. I love them. They love me. They say that they love me. They say that they love me, but I feel alone. I feel numb sometimes. I feel like I want to die. I feel like when certain people says certain things, I spontaneously start crying, and I don't necessarily know why, because I don't necessarily want to see fully confirmation, like how this inner conflict of my own psyche, like this severance, like that I was separated, like I was severed off from a part of myself. A part of myself had to be hidden away. A part of myself had to be hidden away. Like they hid themselves away. Because if I were to be my true self, then it would have brought to light, it always brought to light, like the true selves of the people around me. And they didn't want to see themselves, so I had to hide myself. I had to hide my power. I had to cower, right? I was conditioned to cower, right? In the face of this energy. I would just let people steamroll all over me. I would let people bulldoze and steamroll right over me, and then agonize about that for days afterwards, being like, why didn't I stand up for myself? Why didn't I let them know? So then people thought that they could just come in and treat you any certain way, because they were like, well, obviously this person doesn't know what we're doing. Well, obviously this person doesn't know confirmation that we said something. Like, obviously I guess this person is a pushover. Like, obviously I guess I don't need to respect this person. But now all of a sudden, maybe some of you guys like exploded like a volcano. It's like you've just changed. It's like the lava has just like, I don't know, maybe there was some destruction that happened. But it's like, what if that's a medicine for other people too? Not to say that the way that you dealt with everything was perfect, but what if that's other people's medicine of like, why did you feel like that you could treat this person the way that you felt like you could treat them? Why did you feel like that you could disrespect them, even if it was subtly? So that you could see where you disrespect yourself, where maybe you have let other people disrespect you, or you've disrespected other people. It's like there are people who are skeptical of like who it was that you said that you were. Now they know that you are who you say that you are. They were skeptical that you were who you said that you were. But now that you are fighting for your life, you're fighting for yourself, you have boundaries. You made it known, you made it clear how it is that you will not be treated. It's like, okay, so now they know that you are who that you said you were. There's something about that. And I don't know if that's it. It's like a damn shame. That's a damn shame. But I guess it was a part of you learning that it was okay to accept this part of yourself back into your own circle. To take that iron mask, be like, you don't have to feel ashamed of being kind, because now I'm taking care of you. I'm not going to ruthlessly like hide this part of myself away, or to talk to myself like, or it's like feeling, it's like there's something of like feeling made, okay, honestly, like feeling made to feel a certain way about the fact that you're emotional or sensitive. You're picking up on the thing that the person doesn't want you to pick up on. You're too sensitive. No, you're not. Maybe that person is not in touch with their emotions because they have that part of themselves locked away because somebody made them feel bad for feeling vulnerable or being vulnerable. Maybe somebody is disconnected with their emotions, and then to see you connected with your sensitivity into your emotions, to see that you see through them, to know that you see through them to what they were really doing. Like somebody feels uncomfortable because they feel that you know what they really were doing, but they don't want to see that that's what they were really doing. They don't want to admit that that's what they were really doing, that that's how they operate, because of something that they don't want to admit. Somebody feels rejected by you. Somebody feels rejected by you because you won't let them steamroll all over you, because you won't let them disrespect you. It's like you don't always have to swipe like a mountain lion. You don't always have to go for the throat. Sometimes you just have to hiss, and that's what you're learning. Confirmation. You're learning how to you just have to hiss sometimes. You don't have to hurt anybody else. You don't have to explode like a volcano. That's how so you don't have to explode like a volcano. Confirmation. You don't want to have to explode like a volcano. But the reason why you did explode like a volcano, the reason why things got to the place that they got to, was because you just couldn't handle it anymore. You just couldn't handle the subtle disrespect. You just couldn't handle the mind games underneath the surface. Hey, I'm just checking in. And then somebody like talking down to you as if you don't literally feel that that's what they're doing. No, you're not checking in. Why are you checking in? Okay, so you are checking in, but you don't actually really care. Why are you checking in? Are you just keeping tabs on me? Are you just... And then you say something to make me know that you're kind of looking down on something that is that I'm doing, like that you're the authority above me, like that you know me better than I know myself, when it's like you know that this person has locked away a part of themselves that they don't want to feel. Yeah, love, that they don't love. They alienate a part of themselves instead of loving a part of themselves. So then they try to make you feel like a part of you that you're expressing isn't worthy of love. It's not spiritual enough, right? Oh, it's not spiritual. That they're underneath you because you're feeling emotions? Okay, so that they're more healed than you because you feel your emotions, you let your emotions channel freely. Like when I'm doing channeling, I'm channeling emotions. I'm channeling energy. I'm channeling emotions and I'm channeling energy. Doesn't mean that I'm not healed. It doesn't mean that I'm not healing. Maybe healing, maybe it's like, okay, well, like healing looks a certain way, or I mean, is it really healing though? Or like, are we ever really healed? What is healed? I know that healing is feeling, okay. So then what is like being healed, that you just never feel ever again? You never react ever again? You never have a trigger ever again? That's never gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. You're always gonna get triggered, but you're gonna learn how to deal with the triggers better. But we're only human. So somebody wants to pretend like that they're above that, they're above healing, they're above feeling, that you're feeling too much. Again, it's this thing of like, okay, so you're feeling too much. So you're too much. So that person's trying to make you feel like you're too much. Again, so another person trying to make you feel like, because of where like they block out a part of themselves. So it's like their perception of like that they feel like that they were too much, or they were made to feel like that they were too much. So then when you're just being yourself, you're being honest, you're just being open, you're just sharing who it is that you are. You're allowed to be who it is that you are. Maybe that's medicine for the right people. Maybe it's not for the wrong people. Maybe some people don't like that medicine. Maybe some people will like that medicine. Somebody wants to come in and try to make you feel like you're too much. But it's like they're not really saying that, but they are. They are saying that, and that's the emotional undercurrent and the intention behind what they're saying, but they're acting like that's not what they're saying. So that's what's happening. But your intuition is telling you that you know that that's what somebody is doing. Yeah, confusion. You're like, I don't know, like, right, the confusion that you lived your whole life, right? I don't know, mom says that she loves me, but then she says this stuff to me, like, she makes me feel like I'm not good enough, like, she makes me feel like I'm not smart enough. She makes me feel like I don't know, something just doesn't add up. But no, but they say that they love me, but then they do things, they take certain actions that actually, like, sabotage me. So somebody, like, subliminally programmed you to, like, sabotage yourself, to sabotage you, to sabotage how you felt about yourself, because they had an insecurity about how they felt about themselves, and then to see you being who they felt that they never got to be, or to see you exposing a part of yourself that they had hidden away a long time ago, they sabotaged you through the things that they did and said, pretending like it was love, pretending like it was loving, when it wasn't. It was just controlling, get back in your box, go back in your box to make me feel better about myself. That's what somebody else is doing. That's what people have done your whole life. That's the pattern that you're seeing. It's like the black goo seeping through the walls of your reality. It's like I was living in this matrix of who I thought that everybody was, and then this black goo started seeping through the walls, and I started realizing that I was cut off from a part of my true self that knew the reality of what I was living and that it wasn't okay, and then I needed to protect myself, but I was always shamed and made to feel like I was a bad person for taking umbrage, I hope I'm using that word right, to the treatment that I was receiving from people who, if I treated them the same way that they chose to talk to me, they wouldn't like it. So why do I have to like it? Why do I have to swallow what I'm feeling? If I chose to treat other people the way that I was treated, they wouldn't like it. So it's like now you've revoked access to certain people. They don't like it, but now they want to be the victim, but they don't want to take accountability for how they treated you and made you feel, because they don't want to see that that's how they treated you. They will forever be in denial of the truth because they don't want to see the truth. But you chose to see the truth, and that's what's maddening about this all, is that you're choosing to see the truth that they literally have to be in denial of, or else their whole world would crumble, just like your world crumbled. It crumbled and you were alone. You always felt alone anyways. That's why it was almost easier for it to crumble for you. Not to say that it was easy, but it was just like, well, I've always felt alone anyways. Well, I've always been the scapegoat anyways. Well, I've always been walked all over anyways and denied that I ever could feel that way. So I guess I will let it crumble. I guess I will explode like a volcano. I guess I will. Because I was always alone anyways. And now it's like, you're like, okay, well, I don't have to be alone. Because now I have myself, so I'm not alone. I've got spirit, I've got myself, and now it's like, now that you have this grasp on, like, okay, well, I guess I am allowed to have a boundary. Like, I guess I am allowed to say no. Like, I guess I am allowed to say no. So the right people will be okay with me just saying no, or actually talking about, like, the right people are not going to play these mind games with you. They're not going to emotionally abuse you. They're not going to say one thing and pretend like, they're not going to say one thing while actually saying another, and then pretend like that's not what that they did. And you're not going to pretend that that's not what that they did either. You're not going to pretend to yourself and shut that away, your own intuition about, like, the undercurrent of energy underneath somebody's comment, underneath what they chose to say. You know why they said what they said. They're projecting onto you. And they're trying to like do a power grab. Because they feel insecure about the fact that you don't feel insecure about something that they feel insecure of. So they want to make you feel insecure. They want to make you feel insecure in your own mind. They want to come into your mind, into your psyche. They want to come into your cave and, like, leave something there that wasn't supposed to be there. And you're like that mountain lion, and you're like, I'm not going to lunge at you. I'm not going to end you. I'm going to hiss at you and you are just going to leave my space. Thank you very much. Because I love myself. Because I love myself. You had people coming into your cave and leaving stuff there all the time, and then you thought that that was you. You thought that that was you. You thought that that was the truth of you, but it wasn't. So your sovereignty, a part of that is just being like, no, I know, I see that. That's yours. Yep. And I'm being loyal to myself now. You want me to be more loyal to you than I am to myself? Where are you not loyal to something within yourself? Where are you not loyal to you? Where are you treating yourself a certain way, which made you triggered about me being myself? Because you're treating yourself a certain way. And then that's what this person was, that teacher, right? Coming into your life being like, okay, where are you still treating yourself a certain way? Where are you still guilting yourself for feeling the truth about a situation? Like as if you're not supposed to, as if you're a bad person for feeling the truth, for feeling the truth. I don't know, maybe I'm just too sensitive. No, you're picking up on what they did. There was somebody who like tried to act like that they were your friend, but then it's like they were manipulating you to like say a certain thing or to be a certain way, and you're just like, I know that you're manipulating me. You didn't like that somebody was trying to manipulate you to feel a certain way because of something that they felt within themselves, because of an insecurity that they felt within themselves. They wanted you to feel a certain way because of their insecurity. And that's the story, the whole life, your whole life. Now you have this mountain lion, and it's fine. People are going to try to do what they're going to do. But you don't have to explode like a volcano all the time. You don't have to be that volcano. All you have to do is just hiss a little bit. No. Make it known to yourself and to that person. And then you move on. Knowing that, I mean, just because they said that, just because they're choosing to talk down to me, that doesn't mean that I have to own that energy. I'm not even going to let you come into my cave. Like literally it's like an energetic overstep. Why are you coming into my energy expecting that like I'm just gonna be okay with that? If I did that to you, you wouldn't like that. So why are you doing that to me? Why do you think that you can do that to me? Resentment. See? Resentment. Like why does everybody, why? That's the resentment. That's part of the black goo. Why did I do this to myself? Like, why do I hold myself back? Like, why do I not have better boundaries? Like, because you were taught not to have boundaries. And you were taught that, like, your worth was just letting everybody walk all over you, everybody take from you, being the nice person, right? Oh, they're so nice, they're so sweet, they're so kind. They're so nice. Resentful, resentment. And then it's like you resent, like, even having to make the boundary. It's like because you feel a certain way when you make the boundary, because you feel like you're a bad person. If you're anything but 1,000% nice all the time. Commit to you. Find yourself in your reflection. So see, like that person coming in and trying to judge what it is that you're doing or how it is that you're being. It's like you're resentful at that part of yourself that judges you for picking up on. You're not overly sensitive. You have the ability to pick up on why they chose to say that. There's something off here. It's not adding up. Like the energy and the intention does not add up with the frilly words and the frilly language that they chose to use, like to cover up their bullshit. Using frilly language to cover up their bullshit. That they tried to leave in your cave. Like as if that was yours, as if that's how you have to feel. Because I feel that way. I feel that way. I judge myself. So I'm going to come and subtly judge you and position myself as above you so that you judge you. So you feel judged. So it's like because there's something to judge. But it's actually that person that's judging themselves. But they want to come and usurp your own inner authority. And then you feel resentment that you like believe it, so that it's showing you a part of yourself where you still judge yourself. So they're a reflection of like a part of yourself where you still judge yourself. And it's about, and so healing that is about like literally the pattern of like, people did that your whole life, came in and like said judgmental things to you because they thought you were an easy target to judge, and that created that resentment. You're like, I am nothing but kind. I'm nothing but nice. I give, and this is what I get. I get other people's bullshit. I get other people's bullshit. But it's about you feeling or coming to the realization that you don't have to feel guilty for spotting it, for saying no to it, for walking away from it, from being aware of it. You're aware of it, so you don't have to take it on. But I feel like what really wants to come through in this whole reading is that you guilt yourself for even being aware of it. Because I feel like other people made you feel guilty for speaking on it, for seeing that, for feeling the truth that they didn't want to admit that that's what they were doing. Because they felt guilty, so they wanted you to feel guilty. Just to close off this reading, perfectionism, letting go of perfectionism. You're not perfect. Maybe that other person has perfectionism. Maybe you felt like you had to be perfect to be loved, to be worthy of love. Maybe perfectionism gets in the way. Because it's like you want to be perfect so that you don't have people coming and doing that stuff to you. But there will always be people who will try to say things to you, no matter what you do. Just to see if they can have that power over you, if they can get in your own mind, if they can come into your cave. But that's why you have that mountain lion in your cave going, you know, and you don't have that mountain lion chained up anymore. It's just there. It's just like, hey, I'm hissing at you. And I will lunge at you to protect myself if I have to. Scrutiny, like you feel other people's scrutiny of what it is that you do. But is that not because they scrutinize themselves? They judge themselves. So you're afraid of other people's judgment. You try to be perfect. You try to be perfect because you feel like other people misunderstand what you do, or they will misunderstand what you do. Waking up in reverse because they don't want to see deception where they deceive themselves. Like this eye of scrutiny on you, like this freaking eye of Sauron. Turn that eye in on yourself. But somebody doesn't want to, and then you feel that they don't do that. Then you feel that they come in and judge you. But it's like they're literally, it's projection. And it's just annoying. It's just annoying. But it's like, there's something of like the reason why it triggers you. I think it is because your sensitivity was demonized and looked down on. I think that your emotional sensitivity or your emotional expression, your intuition was looked down on, was talked down on, was mocked, was made fun of, was pathologized. It was pathologized. When it's just human, you're just being human. You're human. You're allowed to feel what you feel. But then you guilt yourself and you shame yourself for having a feeling about somebody's bullshit that they're projecting onto you. Integrity. You have integrity. That's all you have to focus on. You have integrity. You focus on what you're doing. In fear, change in reverse. Maybe you fear that you will not have integrity in what you're doing. You want to have integrity because you were abused by people who had no integrity. You were used by people who had no integrity. So it's like you're afraid of your own power because you don't want to become like the people who hurt you. Anxiety, and it gives you a lot of anxiety. It gives you anxiety. But it's crazy because it's just like integrity. You have integrity. Spirit wants you have integrity in what you do. You have integrity. But it's like then somebody wants to make you feel like that's what I'm saying. Is it because it was always turned around on you, even though you were the one who was abused and victimized? When you stood up for yourself, you were made to feel guilty as if you were the one abusing the person who was abusing you. So that's why you like hold yourself back from defending yourself or standing up for yourself, or for even just like accepting without self-blame or self-shaming what somebody else was doing and why. It's like you always have to make it your fault, like it was your fault. You weren't perfect enough. If you were just perfect, then maybe that person wouldn't feel the need to come in and judge what you're doing. Or maybe if you were perfect, if you were good enough, if you were better, then this person wouldn't try to come into your energy and try to make you feel underneath them. So maybe it is me. Maybe I'm just not good enough. Maybe no, it's like you're sensing what that person did and why. And you're transitioning into a different energy. You're at a threshold right now, right? You're at a threshold right now. It's like you're sitting by this fire, right? You're sitting by this fire. You're about to go deeper into the forest. You've come out of the cave now. I think you can come out of your cave now. Now you've found that mountain lion. You've made peace with the power. You've made peace. You're making peace with your own inner power, right? Now you can come out of the cave. And now it's like you're sitting by this fire, okay? And you're about to walk into this forest. You're about to go on your journey. I think you spent enough time inside of caves, right? It's not that you're not going to come back to the cave. But there's something about like, okay, I need to go and explore deeper into the cave. I need to go explore. And then it's like the cave is filling up with water, right? It's like, okay, well, I think that you've explored, but are you going to trust what it is that you're feeling and why you're feeling that way? Like why you feel like somebody else is bringing up these emotions of where it came from and why you're feeling that way. Instead of gaslighting yourself, instead of trying to guilt yourself for feeling, for guilting yourself for knowing, guilting yourself for seeing the truth in plain sight? Or is it the fact that you feel like you're going to become completely overcome by the emotions that you feel because of what was done to you over and over and over and over and over again? Where your intuition and your sensitivity and your emotions were disrespected and you were expected to just wear this mask like you were fine and everything was okay and that was love. Like you had to play in this play and pretend that was loving, that was kind, that was friendship. Why don't you ever support me when I'm happy? Why don't you ever say good job when I'm successful at something? Why are you only here when I'm sad, when I'm devastated? Why are you not clapping for me when I'm happy? Why did this friend never clap for you when you were doing a good job? Why did they feel like, why did they have to say something to cut you down when you were experiencing joy? Or to make you feel guilty for being happy? Or to make it about themselves when for once it was about you? Or for once there was something good that was happening to you and then this friend made you feel like they didn't actually care. They didn't actually want what was best for you. They were actually jealous of you. They were actually envious of you, but you didn't want to see that. You didn't want to feel that. They actually felt insecure, so they were taking something out on you. They were treating you inappropriately. That wasn't what a real friend would do, but you kind of like had to sever off from that knowing within yourself because, I mean, you could have become overcome, or you were overcome with the pain of, why does this feel so awfully familiar? How they're treating me. Why does this feel like they're so awfully familiar? Why do I feel like I'm best friends with a version of my mom and how she treated me? Why do I feel like I'm best friends with a version of my father? How he talked down to me, how he mocked me. I don't understand what's going on, but you did understand and you do understand. It's like, were you hiding away in the cave, like hiding away from a part of yourself, like a part of your own understanding? But now you're coming out into the moonlight and letting that moonlight bolster your intuition, like bolster your inner knowing to bring you closer towards what would bring you true satisfaction, people who will be truly happy for you when you are satisfied in your life, when people who are happy with like how determined you are to become who it is that you are, or people who are as determined as you are, people who are as determined to heal as you are, people who are as determined to be honest with themselves and you as you are. There are people like that who exist. But it's like this is a part of the step that you've had to take to cultivate that reality for yourself. It's not it is to face the fact that you were deeply abused by many different people in different ways. And it was like a normal thing. And it's normal to feel upset about that. It's normal to get triggered. And that's a part of healing. It's a normal part of healing. And even people who have healed many things, even healers still feel things. Healers still experience triggers. They just have a toolkit where they're like, okay, I understand what this is. But they're still human. They still make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. But then it's like you feel like you have to be perfect. You guilt yourself for having an emotion. Or other people think that, like, whatever they think of what they think that a healer should be, or what it is. Or is that scrutiny? Yeah, scrutiny, or what it is, like what a healer should be. But is that person healed? I've met so many people who say that they're this, that, or the other thing. But it's like they're way disconnected from their emotions. They completely cut themselves off. And then they shame other people for emotions that they have. Because they don't want to feel their emotions, and they shame other people for expressing their emotions, or for expressing anger, or for expressing sadness, because it makes them feel uncomfortable with their own sadness they haven't yet felt. I've met many a person or a healer or a friend who has acted like that, where it's like, liberation in reverse. They're not free from something. They're not free from something, but to see you freely express yourself from a place where they have not yet freed themselves from their own shame of allowing themselves to express themselves, trying to come in and try to make you feel like that you're beneath them for feeling what they haven't even felt yet, because they're actually disconnected from a part of themselves that needs that hug, needs that feeling, needs to express that. But they're afraid of expressing it. To see you expressing something that they're afraid to express. Deep down, they've been made to fear to express that part of themselves, like you were made to fear that part of yourself. But to see you feeling makes them feel a certain way. And so it's about power. So then they want to try to be over you, to try to make you feel under them so that they feel powerful, because they actually feel like that they're powerless in a sense. They see your power, but then they want to make you feel like that power is a weakness. Inspiration, when it's actually, it should be an inspiration. It's not a weakness. They're actually inspired to wake up. But there's something of like, they just didn't want that it was you. They don't want to admit that you inspired them. They wanted to be the one to teach you, to inspire you, to be above you. Like, look at repression roots. Something deep in their past. They're repressing something deep in their past. And I feel like for somebody who, whatever I'm channeling right now, it's like, there's something that happened to you that you were wanting to express and deal with, that person had experienced, or somebody close to them in their life had experienced that same thing, but they were repressing the fact that their daughter or their son or their lover or their friend had experienced something that you had experienced, that you were daring enough to feel that out loud, or to heal that, to be real about something. And it's like they had repressed that because it made them feel something. What did it make them feel? I feel like it's shame. Like it made them feel shame, or it made them feel guilt at what they felt like that they couldn't handle, or they didn't handle, or they felt like that they weren't good enough, or they weren't perfect. They felt like maybe they weren't a perfect parent. They weren't a perfect friend. They felt resentment. Discernment. Okay, they felt discernment and resentment. They felt discernment. That they didn't discern something, that they didn't see something, that they didn't know what to do when maybe they felt like that they didn't discern something. Maybe that they were repressing something that they felt that they didn't discern someone correctly, or they didn't see something properly, or they didn't see something in time, or they didn't do something when they could have done something. And something shocked somebody, and they took that rage and that anger and they fucking repressed that shit. Just so to see you being angry about something that was done to you makes them feel like they want to come in and shame you, or look down on you, or to pathologize you for feeling something that they actually don't want to feel, that they're repressing deep down in the roots of their being, their ancestral pain. Feeling or healing or being a healer isn't just saying spiritual language and saying all the right things and sitting up on a mountain and just like meditating for 75 hours every 3 days or every week. Like, it's not like being a healer isn't always, it's many different things. Right? There's many different types there's 7 billion or 8 billion people in the world, and everybody is different. Everybody's been through different things. And there's different things for different points of the journey. But it's like somebody just wanted you to get back in the box because they didn't want to get out of the box. They saw you opening Pandora's box. They don't want to open Pandora's box. They don't want to open Pandora's box. Self-abuse. They don't want to see that something that they were doing was self-abusive to themselves. Speak to yourself with kind words. They don't speak to themselves with kind words. And so they were reflecting back to you where you sometimes don't know how to speak to yourself because of how you were conditioned. So it's like when somebody tries to come in and make you feel ashamed of something that you were made to feel ashamed of, that you're working on deprogramming that shame and facing that shame and healing that and going against the grain of feeling that shame, like you're going against the grain of what you were made to feel, which was shame. And so somebody doesn't like to see you going against the grain because then it makes them feel like there's somebody who tried to one-up you. Like it's like somebody tried to one-up you all the time. And I feel like it bothered you. But guess what? It's like you let it slide. Because I feel like you understand that. But then it's like you let things slide to the point where people think that they can just treat you any sort of which way. How else did this person feel? Fear. They didn't want to admit that they were overwhelmed, like in their life, with fear. Overwhelmed by fear, by what you were doing or saying or what you were facing, that they wanted to repress that. Like there's some sort of trauma that you experienced that you were talking about with somebody and it made them overwhelmed with fear, but they didn't want to admit that they felt overwhelmed. Somebody felt overwhelmed by like your love or the love that you were giving yourself or the love. Grief. They didn't want to feel their grief. They don't want to process that. Maybe it's like somebody tried to pathologize you for your pain, for your sadness, for your anger about something that had happened to you. Like they felt overwhelmed, but they didn't want to admit that they felt overwhelmed. They didn't want to have an open conversation about it. They just wanted to. You felt their shame at how they felt about, you felt their projected shame onto you. You felt them project their own shame about their own feelings, that they looked at you through their eyeballs. You felt them shaming you. But it was actually activating your own internal shame that you were made to feel. So it was a repetition of like how your parents made you feel ashamed, or your siblings made you feel ashamed, or your abuser made you feel ashamed because of the fact that they projected their shame onto you, basically. Present. But it's like you're being present when this is all happening, being present with your intuition and your emotions. When this stuff is all going down, when somebody tries to come in and say a certain thing to you, to talk down to you, judge you, somebody says like somebody is being conceited or they're condescending, like somebody was being condescending to you, but pretending that that's not what they were doing. It's like, you feel it. So just, okay. And you can either just choose to clock that and move accordingly, or you can just be like, why did you feel it? You could say that. Did you say that for this, that, or the other reason? That's how I felt when you said that. But then of course, but then that will vet the right people. Okay. But it's like, but then people will deny it. Unless they're willing to be honest. But it's like, I feel like this person denied that. They don't want to see it. So they want you to be the bad guy. So they're making you the bad guy because you got upset. Maybe you did explode like a volcano, but they don't want to understand why, right? But it's like, see how they're not understanding why they treated you the way that they did at first, in the first place? Like what even led to that situation? They don't want to see what even led to you getting upset. Because it's just so perfect that your volcanic eruption is like the fallout guy. Like you're the fallout guy for that. You're the fallout guy. Okay, but now you know that you don't need to explode anymore because you've got that mountain lion protecting you, right? All you have to do is hiss. That's where I feel called to end this channeling. I love you guys. I'll see you at the next video.